A little while ago, I was approached by somebody representing the website Lytake. At least that's how I'm going to pronounce it. Their link is going to be in the description box below. But they asked me if I wanted to do a video on this exact tool. I did not have no choice. They just sent me this thing. I'm guessing they saw my review on the hammer multi-tool thing, and they decided they would get me to do another tool review, even though I have no idea, really what tools are for, other than how I use them for nerf and their basic usages. So, being the gentleman I am, I said, sure, why not, as long as I can give my complete and honest opinion on it. And they said, sure. So, they sent me this thing out. And what exactly is it? Well, it is a wrench, plier, knife, screwdriver multi-tool. Really compact thing, honestly. It's not too big. It's got a nice clip on it. It's pretty strong. Nothing too bad there, and I mean, obviously, if you use pliers and whatnot a lot, well, that'll do a lot of good for you. And if you use a crescent kind of adjustable wrench, is that what that's called? Adjustable? I have no idea, but you get the idea. If you use that a lot, it will be pretty good for you, is what I would say. But there are some glaring flaws with this design, and I'm going to start with that whole wrench right here. This thing as very loose. I don't know how obvious that is. Not a big deal if you're unscrewing large bolts, but since I do nerf, most of the bolts I use are rather small, and I found myself, if I'm trying to unscrew a bolt, say about that big, well, it moves a lot, and it slips right off, which is very, very annoying. So this is honestly not all that useful, although, again, if you're working on like a car or something like that, it'll probably work fine for you. The pliers are rather decent. I got, nice grip right here, and I got a lot of mileage out of this thing. Although, kind of annoyingly, if I try to put this in there and cut it, it does not cut. That's not the only wire I've tried that with. That's just the most recent example. This thing, wire cutters don't work at all. It does have a wire stripper on it as well. Maybe I was doing it wrong. Hold on. Let's see if I put that in there like that. Not a... Uh-oh. Yeah, you can kind of tell it strips some. I mean, it's got a little hole for stripping. That worked pretty well, but it doesn't really cut all that well. Well, that's no good. What else do we got? Well, we've got a screwdriver bit set of 2 varying sizes of flatheads, and then a, like I would say, a number 1 or Phillips right there. Goes in right there, magnetizes in, stays in pretty good. You can use it to unscrew stuff. You don't have very much, depth at all, but it does work just fine. You can even put it in right there to give yourself a lot more leverage when you're unscrewing something, or to reach into places you normally can't get a full-length screwdriver, which is pretty handy in a tool this big. Problem? Right out of the box, this first time I put something in there, I went, cool, that's awesome, pulled that out, and the magnet that holds these in fell right, stuck on the end of it, and I had to fill that with super glue in order to get it to stay in there. Annoying. But there is, of course, the knife. A nice knife, isn't it? It's got black, and it's, I'm not a knife guy. I don't really remember what kind of, point that is, nor do I really care. It is a knife, not a very large one, and it's probably pretty good. Nope, absolutely dull as crap. It was like that out of the box. It has managed to cut me on my thumb here. It's healed over by now, but yeah, that's not a very good knife. It does cut every once in a while. I think down here is the sharpest, but up here where I would want to use the meat of the blade, it does not do anything. So this is not looking all that well, and the absolute killer, in my opinion, is it says stainless tool all over it, which I thought would mean something like stainless steel, something that's resistant to rust. Nuh-uh. This has been sitting on this desk for, I want to say, about 5 days. Otherwise, it's been, in my house, and in the garage here, well, it's already got rust all over. It hasn't even been handled that much, and it's rusting. It needs a constant coat of oil, which is annoying and very, very disheartening. Not cool at all. So you can kind of tell here my opinion so far, not even getting to the fact that this website, I have no idea anything about it other than they are very, very big on puzzles and Rubik's Cubes. They have a whole entire section dedicated. In fact, I think it's the first one on their list. Otherwise, they sell electronics. They sell bootleg anime figures. I can't ever think those are legit figures. I think they even have like League of Legends figures and stuff on there. No idea what the quality or anything like that is like. It's a kind of a crazy, you know, Chinese website that sells some stuff. But I have no idea how their shipping or anything like that is, although this did arrive in about a week from China. That's not too bad. But this thing right here, I think they want like 13 bucks for it, and I'm leaning more towards no. I mean, that the knife I normally use in these kind of reviews, I can't find it sitting around over here, but that knife is a $3.84 Walmart special. Here it is. Good old Ozark trail knife. It's been sitting out here for God knows how long. I have used it and abused it. The lockup is 100% perfect, not a spot of rust, and it still cuts just like the day I got it out of the box. $4 from my local Walmart. 13 bucks online, not counting shipping. Not sure how much that is, because of course I didn't have to pay anything for that. And I'm, you know, disappointed. I don't really see too much of a use for this. It's one of those things where if you think you need a tool like this, and you could definitely do with this tool right here, then you're probably going to want to pick one up. But I'm not sure if you can find them elsewhere, and that's not the point of this video. I was, you know, given this to show it off and talk about the website, and I did just that. But I can't really recommend it unless you absolutely have a use for this. Like, you can just say, hey, Walcom, you're an idiot, I need that tool, and I'm going to pick it up, and that's all well and good. In fact, that's what actually happened, because I was sitting here with this thing, and I had no idea what I'd ever use it for. It's too short to really reach into blasters, and I already have tools similar to this that do functions far better. And then the well monster, PJ, he came by, and I showed it to him, and he's an IT guy for a company, and he immediately said, I could really use that. Why? Well, he fixes computers, so that involves a lot of stuff dealing with unscrewing cases and prying metal and doing all sorts of crazy stuff. And some cases, like if you buy, you know, mass-produced computers and stuff like that, like companies do, sometimes they have bolts with Phillip head screws in them. Other times they don't. You have to use a wrench, and this does all that kind of stuff for him. And even if he has to replace a case fan or something, he doesn't need to reach in the rat's nest and unwire. He just cuts it and puts a new one in. Doesn't have to do any kind of crazy stuff. I mean, yeah, it's got some use, and he said it was very, very nice, and he would like one. So, I mean, that's a use for it. But for Nerf and what this channel is, I'll just give this to him. I have no use for that, especially like I said, when this cheap old Ozark trail knife I've had forever. Oh man, the best knife I've ever owned. This I could do a review on, but this thing, I'm gonna have to say it's probably not worth your time. I'm appreciative they sent it off to me, and I'm glad I clarified with them I could give my honest opinion, because unfortunately it's kind of negative. Oh well, that is the review of the wrench multi-tool thing. Maybe there's something else on that website you'll like that you have to have, and it's going to be cheap enough you want to buy it, but I don't think you're going to need to get one of these. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I, of course, hope to see you in an entirely different one.